online haircut.
Welcome back, guys, to Avenues. We're on episode 195. We got a guest this time, Josh Dutois. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I'm glad we could finally make this work.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
So how do you feel coming on? What are your initial thoughts? You know, you came into the studio today, invited on, signed the form. You got that done. How do you feel coming into this episode?
Yeah, I'm obviously looking forward to some good discussions. I've seen a lot of you guys' stuff. It seems really cool. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting into it.
Nice. Some camel discussions, maybe?
Yeah, the camel's got to make a appearance in this.
So, okay, tell the viewers about you, some interesting stuff to get them hooked, right? We're still early. We still have their attention span, hopefully. I know the TikTok kids are like 30 seconds or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I was born and grew up in South Africa.
Where?
I was born in Johannesburg, and then
have you been there?
Johannesburg. I flew in through there.
Oh, right, because your family.
My family.
Yeah. So I was born in Joburg, moved to Cape Town when I was about 6.
Oh, he's been there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Cape Town. Cape Town's such a nice city. Yeah, I've been playing rugby since I was a little kid. That's my passion. Then moved here about 2 or 3 years ago, and yeah, it's been awesome, man.
Sweet. So, okay, let's talk about rugby. Let's ask some questions. Let's ask some personal questions. Okay, so you came into my school in grade 9, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Grade 9.
Yeah. And we did football together.
Yeah, we did football together.
And he didn't know who I was. You asked, hey, isn't this a guy that's on our football team?
That was when I first saw one of the episodes pop up on my TikTok feed. And I was like, hold on, isn't this the guy that was on my football team?
Yeah.
And the guy I asked was like, yeah, that's Colin. You don't know him? I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I knew the face. I'm bad with names.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, all that matters is you're here, and let's talk about rugby now. So,
Awesome.
What made you get into rugby and really get you hooked on it?
It's kind of the tradition of South Africa, and my family has been playing rugby for a long time. My grandpa was at provincial level. He was going for South African national level, but at the time it wasn't really a source of income, couldn't make a career out of it. And he actually hurt his back really bad before he could try out for that. Actually, lifting up a car is how he got his back injury, or trying to. And
Was he not doing proper form?
Must have been the worst deadlift form ever. No, I don't know what was going through his mind, but
What kind of car? Was it like a mini Fiat or something? Or is it like
there's so many
F-150?
stories. He said he hurt his back in a rugby match. He was running with the ball. Someone tackled him in a bad spot. And then I asked my dad, and my dad says no, it was from him being a dumbass and trying to lift up a car. And then so it's actually like still bothering him today, like to this day, and it's really bad. He started his mistake was stopping with activities and sports. So he went he just stopped any type of sports, stopped any activities really. And that's where he made his mistake, because his back's been killing him ever since.
So the lesson is have proper deadlift form.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. Next time you try and lift up a car, because lots of people do that, just make sure you engage those glutes, those hamstrings, everything, your back, your lats.
All right. Don't take after that either.
Do not ruin your athletic career trying to lift up a car.
So, on rugby related also, you're playing on our school team. You done camps with UBC, am I right?
I did a summer academy camp with them last year, during the 2023 summer. But I go out there a lot and just practice with the team. and yeah, so I've been out there a few
Is
times.
this where you want to play? Next step in rugby?
Um,
UBC rugby?
Yeah, that it's between UBC and UVic.
Mm.
Both are really good options. I can't complain about either. I got accepted into arts by UBC, and so that they've given me their offers, and now I'm waiting to hear back from UVic to see their offers, and then I'll kind of
Sweet.
weigh out both and go with the better one.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. What do you want to get out of rugby right now? Is it that then? Is that your goal? Your next coming up goal?
I think it's a step in the bigger picture. I want to try and take rugby as far as I can, but obviously in Canada, at least it's not, you can't make a career out of it here.
Mhm.
So if I am able to, if I'm lucky enough, I would try and play professionally for a club in Europe or pretty much anywhere else in the world except Canada and America. But yeah, I've got to have a backup plan for that because
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, 1%.
Damn.
Yeah.
I had
Alright.
a question for
Yeah.
you. So you moved from South Africa to here, and you
Mhm.
said you were in grade 9. So how old would you have been then?
15?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
when
15.
I think I was 14. I actually moved. I didn't finish my grade 7 year. I had my last term exams. And I obviously did not want to write those, so I moved just before those, and when I came into the school, they actually bumped me up a grade. So if they didn't, I would be in grade 11 right now, but since they did, I'm
Why did
finishing
they?
early.
Because aren't you're our age?
I could either be young for grade 12 or old for grade 11.
What year were you born?
2006 on Christmas though. So
Oh, okay.
It's like right in the
Yeah.
middle kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also South Africa, like most places, I found have like all the exchange students you speak to, like they're way further ahead with their like education, and I don't think it's necessarily that there's better or worse because Canada's got really good education. I think they just move at a faster pace.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you learn all of that in Canada. It's slower. And
you don't learn it as early.
Exactly, and that's what all the Italians and the people from Mexico, the people from Spain, that's what all of them say.
Mm-hmm.
All the exchange students say that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's so easy.
Exactly. And that they actually have a hard time like remembering what they learned from like grade 5, grade 4. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, what made you move to Canada from South Africa?
There were a lot of factors for sure. So, okay, growing up in South Africa, we lived in a place called Constantia, and there was this forest just behind our house, and my brother and I used to go and play in. All the kids in the neighborhood would play in that forest. It was awesome. There was like a track around it. There were swings that people had made and little like huts out of like against trees that people like built out of sticks. It was awesome. And so we would ride our bikes and stuff in there. And one day this girl, she went on a run in that forest. I think she was 16.
I love this story time.
Yeah. And then so she was going one way with her mom and her dog. But then I think her mom wanted to get home quickly, so she was going to walk back, and the daughter said, okay, I'll finish my run and meet you on this side of the forest, and then we'll go back together. And then so they agreed to that, and the mom, the daughter told the mom to keep the dog with her. I don't know why, but so when she's running around, something happens because she doesn't show up with the mom on the side of the forest that they agreed to, and like hours go by and she hasn't showed up. So they, the mom starts calling the police, calling the neighborhood.
119. What is it?
I think it's 111. Yeah,
111.
I think it's 111.
Justin, can you confirm?
I had no clue.
Yeah, it's like I just know 911 from the movies, bro.
Oh.
And then so all the dads in the neighborhood go out
Ooh.
with their cricket bats and their field hockey sticks, and if they have a baseball bat, they go
Okay.
out with the baseball bat, and they're looking for the girl, and because they think something bad's happened, they're ready for anything. And then her body was found in the like just off the path. And unfortunately, she was dead, and all her belongings were like missing. Like she had a smartwatch, I think a necklace. Her phone was missing. And it was these guys. Eventually, they got found. They were like so high on what we call tuk in South Africa, which is meth, that they didn't. They claimed that they didn't realize their strength, and they ended up like smothering her in the sand, and she died. And all the kids in that neighborhood would play in that forest unsupervised. So like this concerned all the parents of the neighborhood. So we actually moved to a different part in South Africa. That was great. But my mom got offered a good job in Canada, and I think she saw that as a good opportunity to move just to a safer place. And obviously Canada has way more opportunities for young people and students especially. So there were a lot of reasons, but safety and opportunities, I think, were the main ones.
Nice. That's good. I like that explanation.
Yeah.
How did the move, would you say, like affect your rugby career? Because especially like rugby is definitely not as big as it is here as it is in South Africa. So what do you think about that in your move?
Yeah, I've asked my dad that question a lot, because I would have gone to either Paul Boys, Paul Roos, or Bishops, and those are all really good competitive rugby schools. Yeah, it would have been a fight to start on those first teams, because South Africans are just on another level with their rugby. It's all they do. But I think it could have gone both ways. I could have gotten better in South Africa staying in that system.
Yeah.
Or staying in that system could have like crushed me, because you like
It's so much.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there's so many others that are also working equally as hard. There's so much talent, and it's just that level of competitiveness. I think it could have easily just ruined my confidence, and coming here could have set me back with how slow or how different the rugby is here. But it could have also helped my confidence a lot as a player. So
Either way, it could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
exactly.
Hard to
So
say.
I think it's definitely something that I wonder, but all I can worry about is what I'm doing now and how I'm doing here. So
Nice.
I think I'm doing well in the environment around me. I try not to think back and say what if.
Yeah.
What can I do now?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good mindset to have, because it's like, yeah, if you're living with like what if, it's like you should focus on what you can do right now, right? And I mean, obviously, you're doing really well with it. You're getting these offers, and I think that's, I don't know, I think that's really cool. So
Yeah, no, there's a lot of talent at our school, like Ethan Samuels, just one of them. Savion and Chuck, who graduated, with some great talent there. There's great talent in Canada, bro. Like, if Canada fixes the way that BC Rugby and Rugby Canada manage the system, Canada can be really good. Because back in the day when all the countries were kind of like on the same level and just starting out as like amateur rugby players, everyone was on that same level, and Canada was actually doing really well. Like you've got these big guys who are tough, and like the tough blue collar guys who play ice hockey, missing teeth stuff and stuff like that. So you definitely got the size, the skill. You've got the aggression and the athleticism, the physicality. I think it's just the infrastructure. Like they didn't, as the world started to improve and take their rugby to those next levels, Canada just stayed at the level that it was, and they're definitely trying to close the gap. And with the sevens teams, I think they're doing that really well. And with the women's teams in Canada, they're doing that exceptionally well because the women's team in Canada, sevens and 15s, they're doing insanely well. Like the sevens teams made it to the Olympics. They place really well in all the HSBC series. I think one thing that I question though is Rugby Canada, in order to kind of bring their skills up, their level up, they cut out the under 18, under 19, and I think under 20 program, which to me is strange because I would think you would want to
evolve
the younger ones and transition them into the older categories. But I mean, I don't know what their plans are, so we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe they have something that will work this way, but it's definitely something that I'm eager to see.
All right. Trying to think of another question here. Would you rather represent South Africa or Canada nationally?
That's a tough question. Obviously representing home in South Africa and where I'm from, where I grew up, is what I would personally choose. I would love to play on the South African national team, but that would be an insane achievement because that, like, the chances of that happening just as a rugby player in South Africa, like most of the guys that are insanely good and play with those clubs, like there's guys on the Scotland team, on every national team there's at least one South African, and they're insanely good. Everyone playing at that level is insanely good, but people like Duan van der Merwe, who plays for Scotland, is insane, but he wouldn't start on the South African national team. So starting
That's
on that
crazy.
is insanely difficult. I don't think I would. I would definitely, if put in that position, would work my butt off to like try and do that. But I think playing for Canada is a much more realistic goal for me, and that is something that I'm striving for right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going into college or university level sports, like how are you gonna prepare for games, or how do you prepare for games now going into this?
There's obviously a lot of nerves. I think everyone gets those. I kind of just I take some time to myself. I think I visualize what I'm gonna do in the game. I kind of try and take deep breaths, get into the moment. And I just when I run onto the field, I just try and let all those thoughts get out of my head. I just try and stay in the moment and focus on what I'm gonna do next play. If I make a mistake, you don't worry about that. Next play.
Yeah,
it's always
Exactly.
next play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next job, as one of my coaches says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good pointer.
Yeah.
Okay, you tried football.
Yeah, I did try football.
You were I would say you were good, but our team was insane.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that were on that team that were good didn't get to play as much as the people that were really good. So you quit football because of that, I'm assuming?
I don't think I was ever any. I don't think personally that I was any good at football. I think I had the tackling ability, I had the physicality, I had all of that from rugby. I had my rugby skills, but learning the whole new game and the mindset of like, okay, I don't worry about all of this. I just worry about one thing, and I do one thing. And the coach gives us a play, I do this one thing. It's, to me, that kind of was the hard part of understanding, because in rugby you're always scanning, and it's kind of you react to what happens. But in football, it's all planned out for you. It's kind of like coach versus coach.
That's true. It's like a game.
It's like, I would say so. But the football athletes are insane.
Aaron Donald. Just retired.
No, there's so many, but But yeah, no, I stopped football. I would have loved to play last season, but I stopped because I'm obviously taking rugby more seriously, and I had to also keep my grades up. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't stretching myself too thin.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that I could put my focus into both both important aspects. Because you guys were practicing for like 3.5 hours every day,
Pretty much, yeah.
and had games on Fridays or
Yeah.
Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
It's what you need to do to get better, but it's a sacrifice for sure.
Yeah, and it's just always it's again the same stuff. Getting those drills and those plays like memorized to muscle memory. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's insane.
What's your biggest rugby hot take? Something clippable. We need clippable content, Josh.
Yeah.
We haven't had a clip in a little while.
I think a hot take would be to say that Italy is definitely a team to watch out for in the next Six Nations, and that Italy is definitely a team to watch out for even in the World Cup. Like Italy used to be a team that I think people didn't take too seriously, but Italy's gotten so good. I just think countries really shouldn't underestimate them in the upcoming competitions, because they can cause some huge upsets.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. There's a lot of controversy with the South African win during the World Cup, I've heard. How do you want to explain that?
I would say, the ref made his decision. I'm not too worried about his decision. I'm fine with that. Unfortunate for the All Blacks fans and the New Zealanders out there, but that's our fourth title. So it was a little bit of a celebration in South Africa. People were going insane.
Did you watch the game, Justin?
No, I did not. But it was on TV. I saw like a little bit of it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to ask what you guys kind of thought of rugby growing up in Canada before, I guess, you really saw it at your school and all of that.
Well, to be completely honest with you, I didn't. I don't like. I knew what rugby was, but I didn't like. I've heard the word rugby, but if you showed me like a rugby game, I'd be like, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah.
And until I was in grade 8, when there was rugby at school, that's when I'm like, "Oh, this is rugby."
Yeah.
And then that's just like I know a good amount of it now from that. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but growing up, I never played rugby. I didn't know anyone that played rugby.
Have you ever played?
I've played rugby in gym class. And what's the game called? It was so much fun where you kick it, like you send it to the other side, and then they
kick it back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called yards or kick tennis.
Yeah, and then you have to run with it, right? And
like if you catch it, you run 3 steps sort of. And that's yards or kick tennis.
Do you just keep kicking it back, like?
I think you score a point if the ball goes past a certain, like, say you have 2 try lines on the end of each wherever you're playing, and this person kicks it and it goes past that, or you have something and the ball touches that, then that's how you get your points.
Yeah, I've also played like just scrimmages at gym class, and it was a lot of fun. I really liked it. But I never grew up playing it. I didn't know anyone playing it. I grew up playing soccer and basketball.
Yeah.
More common sports in Canada.
I played soccer, but basketball I didn't really get the hang of.
You were in the basketball in grade 9, I remember.
That's how I met you. Funny story. We were doing one of those dribbling drills where you run across the width of the court, and Olivier, you know Olivier.
Shout out, right?
Yeah, he's the GOAT. So we were doing that, and we actually ran like head on head into each other and just headbutt each other so hard. It was like we just kind of dribbled on, pretended nothing happened. But yeah, that was when I was like, maybe let's put the basketball shoes away and focus on rugby.
Yeah. Dude, people were trying to get me involved with rugby.
Bro, you should have.
People were saying I'd be a good winger.
Yeah, they know what they were talking about.
I don't think I could handle that physicality, to be honest with you.
Bro, football's physicality scares me sometimes. Like when
Dude.
when a receiver jumps in the air and then
Yeah.
someone takes their feet out from underneath them.
That's true, but like you got the pads.
Bro, the pads don't
Dude,
stop
don't you
a broken
play,
neck.
You play not flanker. You play
In football?
no, in rugby. What do you play again?
Yeah, I play up inside flank.
Okay, I was right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay, what about when you're raising someone up to get the
in a
ball?
lineup? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That's so fun, bro.
Okay, but what I'm saying is like, what if that happens? What if someone's like, oh, my hand's slipping, and then they just fall off the fucking top of the tower?
You got some big boys lifting you, so they
I
can
know,
catch
but
you.
I'm just making shit up to
No,
say.
like if you're not allowed to touch people in the air in rugby, so we actually keep our players safe.
No, I'm saying if they slip off the top, then it's like the same as getting like hit sticked or getting.
Well, like it happens sometimes, but
Yeah.
usually your lifters will catch you.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And what about you? Growing up in a South African household, were you ever exposed to any rugby?
Yeah, I had like definitely as a kid, like growing up, we went back to visit like family and stuff, grandparents and that. So I definitely was exposed to it from a younger age, but in Canada, just not really the same opportunities as you do for other sports. Like definitely more of a soccer and like hockey household, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, my grandpa was definitely a big Springboks fan. Would always have it on
That's
the
awesome,
TV
yeah.
and would watch with them, and he'd like explain it to me as a kid and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, not much besides that. Sort of just, I don't know, the usual Canadian sports, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. What did your grandpa and your dad ever play?
Yeah, my mom and my mom's side of the family is all South African, and then my dad's side's all Canadian.
Okay.
But my grandpa, I think he played rugby, but I think my mom played like netball and she did track and stuff.
Yeah, netball. I've played that. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
we did like at our school we had inter schools, which like our school was divided into I think 3 houses, which was we had Pisces, Cetus, and Diza, which were at my school that I moved from, it was just Pisces and Cetus, and Pisces were blue, Cetus was yellow, and we would play like games and have athletic days, and we would compete with each house, and yeah, so we played netball against each other, and it's actually so much fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about all that dribbling and stuff.
Yeah,
basketball.
Exactly.
And there's no backboard, so I'd say like shooting in netball is pretty tough.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
You gotta be accurate.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But when South Africa are your family from?
My mom is from a small town called White River, so it's really close to Kruger National Park, and it's so it's around that area there. But it's a pretty small town. It's like we went back there, and it's like I don't know. It's pretty small and pretty like friendly, but it's definitely really different from Canada and here. So
yeah. No, Canada is actually a beautiful country, bro. Like I'm glad that I've experienced this. I've had the opportunity and the privilege of experiencing both countries, because I know that a lot of my friends in South Africa, most people are trying to get out right now because of how corrupt and
That sucks.
and unsafe things are getting. But yeah, I still love it there, and I visit now and then as well. And it's always fun when I go back.
all right. So in the last clip, we kind of got into it a little bit about like Canada and South Africa. But what would you say are the main differences between the two countries, and what do you like miss most, I guess, about living in South Africa?
Yeah, I would say the main differences, obviously Canada's got a way more like well-structured economy and government. Our economy's not doing too well. I think it's like 18-1 right now.
Ooh.
Like 18 rand to
Yeah.
1 Canadian dollar. But
I actually have a rand coin in my.
You do?
It's so big, dude. The $1 coin.
and yeah, the 5 rand coins are like tunes. Yeah, and then obviously I would say our beaches are amazing. That had to make an appearance. Those beaches, they're insane. But I would say so. Definitely the economy, just safety and opportunity. Like, there's so much talent in South Africa with like all sports. Obviously less with the ice skating and the lacrosse.
Is that even a thing?
There's actually a small there's ice skating, figure skating, a small ice hockey league. But I don't. Yeah,
You
sure.
can't be.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't think there was lacrosse. But obviously, a lot of that sport goes unidentified because
Yeah.
they live in these.
Africa.
Yeah, live in these way more rural and poor like environments. Like this township right next to the school that I went to before moving here was called Zwelishwe. And I played street soccer against them once, and it was insane. Like some of the stuff they were doing, like it looks like they're straight out of Brazil or something. Like it's
It's
crazy.
Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got that style, that like Jenga style. I think I saw you sign up for soccer in grade 9, and
Yeah.
I don't think you ever showed up.
I used to play a lot of soccer in South Africa, and I wasn't too bad, but I would have loved to play here and like kind of
Center back.
no, I was actually a striker, attacking mid.
You got a center
wing.
back build.
Yeah, well now I was in South Africa. I was a twig. I was tall for my grade. And I was just skinny. I was tall, skinny kid.
Okay.
And I hope I'm still tall now, but
How tall are you?
I think I'm 6'2", 6'6". I was 6'1.5" a while ago.
That's tall, I'd say.
And I think I'm
Nothing
6'2"
crazy,
now.
but it's tall.
Yeah.
So you just didn't show up to soccer?
I would have loved to, but I think all the practices were in the morning.
Yeah, they
so
were.
I'm not really a morning person.
I was there for that, but I mean that's when I
Quit
could,
after you.
because I was
Couldn't
just
make
I was just in
yeah.
football, right? I couldn't, so. But I still play soccer.
Trying to balance football with like any other sport isn't possible.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Yeah.
I would have loved to play it on.
It was a great like experience, and I love playing football. But it wasn't sustainable for someone who wanted to take another sport seriously.
Yeah. What? How did you learn English?
So when I moved to Canada, it was actually like I don't want to say a requirement, but like it's preferred that you are able to kind of speak English and
Or French.
And so French definitely did not go that well. But English, I kind of picked up within the first like 4-ish months, because I could still speak like a little bit of broken English in South Africa. But when I moved to Canada, I got like fully into it. And yeah.
All right, because I met you in grade 9, but I didn't really talk to you.
Yeah,
So,
no,
like-
I'm completely joking. I've spoken English since I was born.
Oh, okay.
English is my first language, and then Afrikaans is my second language, and I can speak a tiny bit of Xhosa.
So you said all that for nothing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
I was just yapping.
That's like Zach's hand story. Fucking got run over by a lawn. Like, we had a guy on here that had one hand,
yeah.
and he made up this whole story.
And then he was
like,
lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So that makes sense. Okay, so where's my neighbor from? Not from South Africa. He's from that island off of I told you about.
I don't even know.
Lesotho, where
Lesotho?
it's from.
Is it Lesotho's?
I don't know.
Lesotho.
Lesotho, yeah, not Lesotho. That's somewhere else. It's like It's like an island, but like it's in South Africa.
Yeah,
Well,
no, that,
Swaziland's inside, but
Yeah,
that's like
I think it
No.
is Lesotho. Everyone
Yeah.
says Lesotho, but
Yeah,
It's
that's
Lesotho.
yeah. He's from there.
it's like its own country within South Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy that lives there is from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Adopted,
Oh, yeah.
obviously. Well,
I mean, his family could have moved here. If he,
yeah, that's true.
But
Isn't it like a poor area?
it's. I think there are obviously the more wealthy sides of it, but for the most part, I think it is less developed than
Yeah.
South Africa.
Yeah. Anyway, did what was I gonna say as well? Have you been anywhere else in Africa?
Yeah, I've been to, so I was born in Joburg, moved to Cape Town. I've been all throughout the Boerland, which is
Okay.
Hermanus area, going into like going into Caledon and all of those. Those are like the farm areas. I've been Breda River, Orange River, which is close to Namibia. So I've been to Namibia.
Did Namibia? I'd love to go there.
Yeah,
It's like one of the safest places in Africa, and it's beautiful.
yeah, it's just outside South Africa. The Orange River actually is the border between South Africa and Namibia, and it's this massive river. And we spent, I think, a couple days paddling down the river and camping on like little beaches and islands that we came across along the way.
Nice.
It was so much fun, dude. Like I would 100% recommend doing that.
Sweet. Should we do it?
We got to organize it, bro. It's life changing.
So growing up, I've known like a few South Africans. Actually, now that I think about it, the guy behind me that lives there is South African as well.
Yeah, no,
So-
bro. There's so many in Canada.
I grew up with like knowing South African people, and they're all white.
Yeah.
And I talked to
Yeah, and then everyone's surprised by that as well.
yeah,
I think-
because
yeah.
the people I talked to are like they're all black in South Africa. Like all the white people I've talked to that's from South Africa, they've said they're all like black.
Yeah, no, in South Africa, I would say, I don't want to say it's even, but I would say majority of certain areas for sure are people of color. Because there's in South Africa there are three main races that you like if you're signing a formal document from the government and
You have to be
s-
black. That's on it.
No, if you have to state your race,
Oh.
there's white,
Mhm.
colored, which is like
Yeah.
light skin,
Okay.
and then black, and then there's a box for other because we have people from all over the world.
Nice.
But
Got the Chinaman there.
yeah, there's actually a lot of Asians
Really?
in
That's surprising.
I think mainly they go to Joburg because a lot of the time they move over for business or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. And that's
And that's
The
Joburg.
biggest,
Joburg has a lot of business. Sometimes Cape Town as well, but Joburg is like more the industrial or economic
Business,
side
yeah.
of the South Africa area.
fair enough. Well, I can't think of any more questions, Justin.
Yeah, I got one more thing to touch on before we wrap up here, but obviously you're taking that next step for rugby, but we
Yeah.
didn't really talk about like academics and stuff. So
Ooh.
I was just wondering, like, what are you kind of trying to do in school? I know you're trying to juggle both rugby and school,
Good
but
question. Good question.
what are you
That's a
trying to
good question.
pursue in academically? I guess?
Academically, for both universities, I applied with a Bachelor of Arts just as my like backup in case my first option didn't work out, and my first option at UBC is School of Sorta
Okay.
for
yeah.
business, BCom in School of Sorta, and then for UVic, it was a BCom at the Gustafsson School of Business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to go into business. I think, yeah, because even if I do make it pro or play at a higher level than university, there will come a point where my career ends. I would either have to retire or have to stop for other reasons.
Mhm.
So I think I can combine even I could possibly combine rugby and business, create academies, coach, train, or I can just go completely different routes and like try and start a different business or work in the business side of other companies. So I think business is what I want to go into and have as that kind of backup or secondary plan for if my passion doesn't work out. Yeah, what are you guys planning to go into?
Yeah, I apply to the same thing, so I'm also going into business. Probably going to UVic, so that's where I'm like I got
UVic's
into.
a really good
so
school as well,
Gustavus as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of like probably more so on the marketing side, like marketing, advertising, and all that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking into right now. But I think the program there, we talked about it last episode actually, but the program's really good, the 2-on-2, and you can kind of like, you have a little bit of time to like try everything out before you pick your major, your focus. So I think it's a really good program and a good school overall. So
yeah, for sure. UVic's great. That's why. Yeah, whichever one I go with, I'm completely fine with either of those.
That's good.
But a tip that I have for like anyone watching who also wants to go into business, I know business is especially competitive at universities like UBC and stuff. So if you're applying to business and you want that's what you want to go into, I would recommend just having a BA, Bachelor of Arts, just as that backup, so that you're in the university. You do whatever you can transfer up till your third year. So do whatever until then, get your credits. Maybe you find you want to do something else. But if you still are set on business, you can transfer after that. And I think once you're in the university, it's a lot easier than trying to enter it straight from high school.
Yeah,
and also if your grades aren't up there yet, you can also use that to boost grades or get stuff that you didn't have. Like say you didn't take calculus in grade 12, you can do that through the university while you're studying for a BA.
Yeah, exactly.
And also for athletes, it's much easier. Like it's much better to ease into the university that way, and it's a lot more I would say manageable with like when you're playing university sports. You're essentially playing for a professional team with all the commitments. You have to be in the gym. You have to be at trainings.
Gotta have good health.
Exactly. So going straight into a high workload on top of that, I think would be overwhelming for a lot of people. I know for myself, it could definitely become overwhelming.
Yeah.
But what are you?
General arts. I don't know what I want to do yet. That will help me figure it out.
That's exactly. Mm-hmm. That's what I've heard from head coaches, admission advisors, all of that. So,
a lot of people do it.
Yeah. I've heard it's common, but when I was speaking to some of my friends and some like I was speaking to the UBC head coach, and he seemed kind of surprised by the decision, but then he said that that's really good. I like that approach. So he's clearly had athletes who've done that before, but I'd say that a lot just try to get in early. So I would recommend staying for longer because you're in no rush. You're young. Like I know I'm going to be in university starting though when I'm 17. So So
same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got all the time in the world. You've got all the time in the world. And also staying at the university longer means I just get to play for them longer.
I'll be 18. I got to deal with that. I mean,
super senior.
Yeah.
I think do most people graduate high school at 18? It's like
think
half.
So.
It's like
Yeah, the majority.
Well, it's the first 6 months of the year, but then you're also leaving out 6 months.
I think 18's normal. 19's like a bit old. 17's a bit young.
There's some. Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's true. There's 19-year-olds that will graduate.
Yeah.
I know that 19-year-olds in our grade.
Have you guys
think 18's
seen the decision that TikTok might be getting banned?
Yeah, well,
by
it's been
America?
banned some places already in
Really?
the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with that, but I've heard about
Yeah,
it.
that's actually a relevant topic.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that because I actually want to ask 2 more questions that I thought
Yeah,
of, and
no
then we'll
worries,
head over
no
there. Okay, one question. You might not know the answer to this, but I've always wondered, why do people dress up for the rugby sevens?
I know the answer to this one actually, because why wouldn't you? It's rugby sevens. Everywhere it's like you get to wear whatever the hell you want. I know people go as pirates. Like it's just people go there, and I think most of the people who are over the age, get just pissed. They get so drunk. Like you walk past groups and they would just be reeking of beer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's just such a great environment and atmosphere there. I think everyone can just be whatever, like they can be themselves. They can dress up. They can.
So
do
they
all
actually
that.
can identify as a helicopter and be okay.
They can identify as helicopter. Anyone can do that, Colin. What the hell? Who are you to say they can't?
What if I identify as a 16-year-old?
You know, you're gonna get this show canceled, man.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. You can identify as whatever you want.
Been there, done
It's
that.
2024. Get with the program, Colin.
What do you identify as?
I identify as
Baby shark dude.
yeah, exactly. Nope, the comments are gonna flame you for that. I already know.
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
go ahead. Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
All right. Second question is, how many baddies are there in South Africa?
I would say. Here's the thing.
Uh-oh.
This is what I've noticed.
I don't know if that's a good thing, bro.
No. It's actually that's a good question.
Okay.
In South Africa, the women's standards for men is a lot lower than what they are here. Here, they are insanely high, is what I feel. In South Africa, you can see like the most random guy with like a beautiful woman, and like good on him, good on them. Like that's big up whoever that was.
Shout out.
Yeah, exactly. like I would say also in Spain, so many other places, like people seem to be able to get with those way more attractive women.
Let's go.
I don't know. I think here it's just maybe it's because there's so many more like
Beauty standards are different.
I don't know. Beauty standards are different. Yeah, in South Africa at least. I would say, yeah, the standards that women have for men are a lot lower.
What about men have for women?
Probably a lot higher. Yeah. So it's like reversed, but
Okay.
but
Does that mean South African people are just like not as good looking then? Because think about it like that. If you're,
I would say
it's like that theological. Oh no, it's like if you're getting into psychology, it's like that theory of like if you're spending so much time in isolation with like 30 people, you're gonna
find one attractive.
yeah,
Yeah,
eventually.
Yeah.
Is it like that type of thing? Then?
I would say people in South Africa are a lot more like tanned because they get exposed to the sun a lot more, and I feel like most people find that tan look way more appealing. So I think that just boosts both because like pale versus tan, everyone's choosing tan. Let's be real. And yeah, we're looking kind of pale right now. But
once the sun comes out, I'll be.
It's coming out. It's looking good. But it's getting into that spring summer weather, which is I'm so happy.
I know, Sam.
But seasonal depression
it's real.
It's real.
I deal with it, bro.
Seasonal. Like my dad was traveling from South Africa to Canada, South Africa to Canada. I think he went through a 2 or 3 year long winter because he would be here during the winter, go back during this summer, but it would be winter there, and then he would come back after after the winter ends there. So he was just in this like
just rain
long,
or snow,
deep,
or like,
wet, deep winter, everlasting winter.
Well, how cold is it in the winter there?
It gets freezing, bro. It's like insanely cold. You couldn't imagine. Like
worse than here.
8 degrees.
Nice fall day.
Yeah, no. For me, when it got insanely cold in South Africa, it was like 4 degrees. And now that's not cold.
You got used to it?
Yeah, but
Fine.
here it gets up to like 25, close to 30, and people are dying. But in
That's nice, dude. I love that.
In South Africa, we played a full rugby game in 47, 48 degrees weather.
I would get heat stroke and probably pass out.
Yeah, no, it was. We were in this like landlocked little city, and it was really cold in the morning. So we all had our like thermals on and our stuff, and then during like after half time in our game, suddenly the temperature had just been like spiking throughout our game, and now it reached like almost 50. Like it was above 45.
What did
degrees.
it start with?
It started, I think, in the very beginning, like in our first games, because we were playing a tournament. There was frost on the ground, like.
That's crazy. You got that hot that quick?
Yeah, in the night it gets super cold, and then I think it was probably around 8 or 5 degrees in the morning. So to us that was freezing. And then throughout the day it just skyrocketed, and by like 12 or 1, it was at 12, 1 or 2, like it was
5 degrees is pretty cold.
It was like 40, close to 50 something.
Wow.
It's like I don't know how temperature can like
That's
change
crazy.
that quickly, but
yeah,
I thought I was gonna pass out. Like this, that was. I noticed here though that since there's not as much wind, like you do kind of feel the heat a bit more.
Yeah,
like,
we're on the West Coast. There's the water right next to us.
Yeah, well, the thing is, in South Africa, like, what you would do if you were hot, you would like wet your shirt or something, put it on your head, and the wind would cool you down.
Oh, okay.
Because there was wind chill, but here, like, there's no wind. You got like 10-kilometer per hour winds. It's like gale force here. In South Africa, I think. I could be wrong, but we were experiencing like insane winds the one day. I think it was 100 kilometers per hour or 75 kilometers per hour, something like that.
Damn.
The bus didn't come to pick us up from where we lived because the bus would have blown over. So
Shit.
yeah.
Well, we can get into TikTok now.
Yeah.
Okay, so TikTok. A lot of people do not care about the settings that you gotta have in order to have the app. I mean, it's just they know everything about you. To sum it up, you didn't know that?
It's like I know that they know a lot, but I haven't.
In their settings, there's so many things. Like Joe Rogan had a guest on that worked for TikTok, and when you go into their TikTok justification post, like what you need to have the app, it talks about how they know what phone model you have, they know your name, they know what apps you use, they know who your contacts are, they know what gender they are, like crazy stuff that they don't use, obviously, to an extent. I mean, for me, there's the whole okay, so I mean, I joke about this all the time. People are like, oh, TikTok, they're spying on you through your device, right? I don't believe that's true, just because I think we would know. Yeah. However, China has been known to dabble in some spy technology. Yeah. Look at Huawei. Huawei was...
And that, whatever,
the balloon. Yeah, that Trudeau. I mean, we talked about that, yeah. So I, for one, personally, I don't like TikTok, and not just because of that. I just don't like TikTok, I don't like the language that's used in TikTok that goes to real life, like the whole like blood
toilet.
Fuck that, or like blood.
The most annoying thing.
Yeah, skibby toilet, blood. Like they use blood
Riz,
too much.
Ohio shit. Like.
Yeah. Or people say the word instead of ass. That is so annoying. So like, I don't like TikTok because of that. That's just really stupid, annoying. Also, the people that use TikTok, it's unhealthy in general.
It's low-key does like it creates.
It fucks with you.
Built to create an addiction, and then just 30 seconds as your attention span's wearing off, you get this hit of dopamine again, and that's it just kills your productivity.
Yeah, there's that. Also, kids specifically are too much on it that they're actually like getting bad behavior from the shit that they watch, and also. a lot of content on there is very sexual.
Yeah.
And also it's the settings I talked about, all of that combined is just not. I don't think it's a healthy thing for the society. I don't think TikTok's a healthy thing. I don't have TikTok. We have our account, obviously, because, why wouldn't you want to get views? And I know you guys use it, so we post on there anyway for you guys to watch, because, everyone wanted us to put stuff on short form content for a while, so we started doing that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I think.
Hate or likes, bro. Views or views. So
our highest views like 280,000 views. I
really,
think.
that's insane.
And it's so easy to get views on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And look how many people are popular because of TikTok. Bryce Hall.
Bro, that's what actually like really annoys me. Like people with no talent whatsoever in the world, like they just handed millions on a plate. Like
for doing like renegade.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I get some of the girls who go TikTok famous are actually like some of the TikTok dancers are actually like dancers.
Yeah.
They have
They
this
make
talent. But then like people like Jake Paul, like he was on Disney the one time. Then he like had the most disliked video in the history or whatever.
Day, bro.
And that dislikes or likes, like views of views, he
Yeah.
gets paid a shit ton, and then he gets insanely rich, and now he's fighting Mike Tyson. That's insane. If Mike Tyson doesn't like drop him, like it's rigged. It's rigged.
Yeah. So that's my opinion on it. I'm for TikTok game ban. I don't think it's healthy for society, but I don't really care that much. Like if it doesn't get banned, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't use it that much for anything but podcasts.
I think it can be. It can be.
It could be educational.
It can be educational
Yeah.
and can help a lot of people. Like, I think, like people obviously can get motivation out of those TikTok videos. They can get.
Yep.
They can get like inspiration for stuff. Like I know, my whole TikTok feed is starting to fill up with like gym tips and like rugby and like
Hey,
stuff.
that goes back to what we were talking about.
Stuff, stuff going on in the world. Like it's a good way to like explore your interests and stuff, and find out more about stuff that's going on in our world. But a lot of stuff can be propaganda on there. A lot of information can be just fake and but I think that like I don't care if it stays or gets banned. Like I think.
What would you rather have? If you could choose.
Personally, like, I would not mind if it got banned. Like, it wouldn't really affect me at all, and I think it could actually help some of those kids who do get addicted.
What is blood yapping about?
Exactly. You got Instagram, you've got all these other social media platforms. Like, whenever I speak to my dad, and my dad hates social media. When he tells me about like his childhood and him growing up in South Africa, like it sounds so good. Like when you were bored, you didn't scroll through your phone. You got with your friends, you figured out something to do, and you just went off and came back. Yeah, so he would go. He told me about stories in his childhood where he would be surfing. He would go collect like mussels to eat from the rocks by the ocean, and he would go diving and stuff with his friends. He would go paddling up the river. He would like do all these crazy things
without the internet.
Like I did that as well because I grew up in the same place he did, but we did it way less often. And like he would go out and he did this like challenge with his friends where they could only live off the land, and they had to survive for like 3 days or whatever.
Sick.
And they just like did that, and then they have such a broader like I don't know. They can be entertained by so much less.
Yeah.
And have so much more fun doing simple stuff.
Anywhere 30 years ago.
Exactly. And nowadays, I feel like
kids need that.
Exactly. Like you get bored of doing something mildly like entertaining so quickly. like I find with myself as well sometimes, like I'll be doing like
Attention span.
exactly like I'll be I don't know, playing the guitar for a little bit, like trying to learn a song. It takes too long. I'm like, yeah, no.
Can you take a shit without your phone?
I find it like extremely peaceful when I don't take my phone, and like you just
Nice.
stuck with your thoughts, you know.
Nice.
But when you do, like it's way more entertaining.
Yeah. Justin, what do you think? TikTok should be banned?
Dude, I don't. Okay, this is my take on it. I personally don't have TikTok on my phone, but I do have like Instagram, which is like Instagram Reels is essentially the exact
They
same.
all
Exactly.
copied TikTok
YouTube
because they saw
Shorts.
it was blowing up popular, so
Yeah.
they went on the
YouTube
bandwagon.
Shorts, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly don't like any of those platforms. I think they're just like pretty much a big time suck. I mean, there is, like you said, there is great content on there. Sometimes you'll get like informational stuff or like tips on like, you know, deadlift form, like
Yeah,
you said earlier, but
Don't lift the car.
don't lift the car. But then, you know, at the same time, you just can get sucked in, and like there's been times where I'm
What
like,
do you mean by that?
I should be studying, I should be
Yeah,
focusing on something, and then you just get carried away, and then one more video, and then
About to go to bed? One more video.
then
Yeah.
you check the clock, and it's like
yeah.
it's been an hour or two.
Two
That
in the
happened
What am
to
I
you.
doing?
You told me about that.
Yeah.
You get caught up with time.
And so like it's just for me, it's just not worth my time.
Mhm.
But in terms of it getting banned, it's just like I don't use TikTok, so it doesn't really affect me in the same way. But I think the ban would be probably pretty beneficial for most people.
That's
I think a
what
lot of people
Yeah.
use that platform, and like you said, I think there's just a lot of information in general. Like it's almost like information overload, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily like people's attention spans have like dropped, and people
Yeah.
can't just sit and like
Yeah.
focus on one thing. Like it's just
Thing
it
is, there's so many other ways to get that information, though. It's just
True.
there's a 30-second video available to you if you look
Yeah.
it up on TikTok.
If you like,
Yeah.
if you come across.
But we speak about like all these annoying aspects of it, but like
I don't want to bite the hand that feeds us as well.
Yeah.
it's, like just in general, like whenever I like ask my dad something and he doesn't know, or like asking him something for a project, he's like, dude, go look it up. Like the information is all at our fingertips.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
And back then, my dad would have to go find a book, go through all the pages, ask, like if his parents didn't know, it became this long mission of like trying to find someone who knew,
Yeah.
or going through books trying to find stuff. Like to me, like the amount of
crazy.
time that must have taken. Like
Yeah.
imagine you're trying to do a project
Mm.
last minute the night before. You're like, fuck, like
You couldn't.
I haven't
Yeah.
I haven't started. I don't know what this is. Like we can find out everything about
Instantly.
historical figures and all of that, anything instantly, and like that allows us to, I think, like procrastinate way more. But it allows us to just like access all this huge source of all information so much more easily.
Yeah.
Like, imagine first you have to find the encyclopedia or book or whatever that is whatever in the category of your interests. Then you've got to find where it goes into what you want trying to find out, and then sometimes you might not find what you're looking for in that, and then you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the other thing too, is like if you're interested in something, you can learn so much so quickly. Like just having that information there is one thing, but like the rate of which people can do that, like you can get, I mean, so many people have become like grossly educated on just like random, you know, topics or subjects just because of, you know, having it available.
I think you also see a lot, like I've scrolled through you guys' TikTok comments, and I've gone through your guys' YouTube comments. I think you can see the difference in like the target audiences, because on TikTok it's a lot of like, this is fire on mute with the flames. I've seen that, and they're like, what is bro yapping about and stuff like that, and and this shit is fire on mute. Yeah, like that, like that's just like immature, first of all. And then you go into YouTube, and I've seen like this full on discussions going on in the comment section. I'm like, that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it tells you what ages and what maturity levels are on each app. Like clearly most people on TikTok are like max 15 and stuck in the whole like the whole like make fun of someone for no reason phase, but
Yeah.
the people on YouTube seem to actually like be interested and like give a shit about what the people are actually saying, and are mature enough to like either just not say anything because there's no reason to, or talk about it and like have a discussion.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
I mean, yeah. At the end of the day, like it doesn't really, I think, bother you guys, but I think it's interesting because
It is. Yeah.
like if you let your parents scroll through TikTok versus YouTube, I think they're gonna be like, "What is this shit on TikTok?"
Yeah.
And then YouTube, like, yeah, they'll find some weird like slime challenge or something like that. Be like, "What is this?" But for the most part, like
Trying Tide Pods.
they'll find
More good
more
shit.
interesting
Yeah.
stuff, and not just like, "Hey."
Yeah.
30-second video done. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't have anything else to say, but I will ask one more thing of you.
yeah.
Before we close out the episode, can you say something to the audience in Afrikaans? We've
What?
had people speak Chinese, French, Spanish. What else have we had? We've had all sorts of shit, dude. Farsi.
Yeah.
We've had all sorts of languages. Let's add another one to the list. I love Avenues podcast. Thanks for having us on. I'm just giving a prompt. You don't have
Okay,
to.
I'll just say I love Avenues
All
podcast.
right.
Ek is lief vir Avenues podcast en baie dankie almal wat vir ons luister. Ja, geniet. So I just said thanks. I said I love Avenues podcast. Thanks to everyone who listens.
And donkey.
And then I said
Donkey.
then I said enjoy.
I heard
Donkey.
it sounds so much like Dutch.
Yeah, it is actually really
Can you
close.
learn Dutch? Do you think would it be easy for you?
I mean, yeah, I think some of the stuff is a little bit different, but
Yeah, obviously.
I think learning Dutch would be pretty
easy.
pretty easy.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fully fluent in Afrikaans, and I'm almost. And in Canada, it's definitely been difficult to like stay on top of that and make sure I don't forget it. But I speak to my dad a lot in it, and when we're skiing or stuff and we're like, this guy's an idiot, or like talking shit about someone in front of us, or like just want our own private conversation. Doesn't have to be talking bad about someone who we think is being a
Could be a
dumbass.
password.
Exactly, like, or just having our private conversation.
Dude, I had
will
major
switch.
diarrhea last night. And yeah.
Stuff that other people don't need to hear, then we just
Yeah.
switch over into Afrikaans
Well,
until we run into a South African and they're like, "What did you just say?"
Josh, thank you for coming
Yeah.
on. I appreciate
you.
you. Finally.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thanks.
I hope you enjoyed. I hope you
yeah,
enjoyed.
no, it was fun. It's actually it's nice to speak about stuff like this.
If you guys want to see Josh again, let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
And
thank you guys. It was
it's
awesome.
been
Yeah.
episode 195, Road to 200. That's gonna be a fun episode. Going live on episode 200 in the studio. We'll be live, having some guests, having some challenges going on, whatever. And
No
that's
spoilers.
no spoilers, but hey, maybe you'll see Josh again there. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been
Thank
episode
you, guys.
185, and we are out. Peace.